Hello there, I'm Jimmy Vegas. This is how to create a Wolfenstein 3D FPS clone in Unity, and welcome to episode 21. In this tutorial, we are going to focus on expanding this level a little bit more with whatever else we need to, bring in another texture or two, and we're also going to look at increasing our health. So when we've been shot, we need to increase our health back up. Don't forget, click on the subscribe button and click that bell icon as well to stay up to date with every tutorial still to come in this series and everything else on game development on my channel. With that in mind, let's get to work. So hopefully, after the last tutorial, I left you guys with building up your world just a little bit more, or maybe completely if you wanted to. I haven't actually done anything because I have been a little bit distracted, but that doesn't really matter too much. So as I just build up a little bit more of this level, I'm going to talk to you about what we're going to do in regards to the food curing our health. So down here, I'm going to have some food that I've already found from the asset store. And it's entirely up to you whether you want to do the exact same as what I do. You could have a health kit if you wanted to. That's entirely up to you. But I'll show you what I'm going to use. Before we do that, I'm just going to bring in another texture. So I'm going to go to my textures folder. And you'll be able to get this on the website again for free if you head over there. It's just this brick texture right here. It's commonly found within the Wolfenstein 3D game from many years ago. So again, it's entirely up to you if you want to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build that section of the wall just over here. And I'm going to bring these blocks here and then get rid of that one. And then we're going to drag and drop that onto there. And as you can already tell, it's pretty much just done it itself. I guess you could make the materials similar. If we go to the material of this one, we'll be able to see. So the difference between these two, you can see right here is the normal map. So let's create the normal map. Control, press D on that. It's always good to just go over a couple of things every now and again, you know, just to kind of refresh your memory a little bit on some of these earlier things. Let's reduce that normal map a little bit to about there, and that looks okay. So food curing health. Well, how do we do that? It's actually real simple, and theoretically we've already done the work we need. So if you remember, with something like the collectible here, the gold, and the same with the ammo, theoretically the same principle will apply once again, but it'll just be slightly different. And on that note, actually, I'm going to duplicate that clip, and I'm going to have another clip of bullets somewhere here. So let me duplicate this one. Bring it over here, just so we got some more ammo for when we have more enemies in a bit. And that'll do fine just there. So, food. Well, if we go to the asset store, and basically you can search for food, and you'll be presented with this. I'm just going to use this asset. This is just a nice, quick, simple, free asset. To get it, you just need to search for tinned food, and you can download it. It's free as of recording this tutorial. If it's not, you can go find something else, or you could pay. It's entirely up to you, but like I said, I always deal with free things, so I have gone for this. So import, download, whatever you need to do. I've already gone ahead and imported it into my project. So right here, this can. Resources, prefabs, and we can use any of these. So I'm going to do a couple of different things in this tutorial. I'm going to increase our health back to 100%, and I'm also going to increase it by a certain value if we need to. So I'm going to do two different styles. So the first one, I'm going to bring can 1 into the scene, and let's increase it to 10 by 10 by 10, and that is pretty big. So let's reduce that to maybe 4 by 4 by 4. That looks a reasonable size. So I'm going to bring that and align it with the floor. Just there, perfect. So this is the first one, and I think which way should we do it? I'll tell you what, let's do the restore to 100% first off. So I'm actually going to put this back as 10 by 10 by 10, just to kind of show you it's a big can of food. Let's rotate by 90. Minestrone, nice. So within this, let's insert a cube, and that cube is obviously going to be the actual trigger. So let's uncouple it and reduce the scale back down to 1 by 1 by 1, and The cube is a little bit too small for the can, but that doesn't matter. Let's increase to 1.1 by 1.1 by 1.1. That'll do. That's fine. Let's rename the cube to full health food. And let's bring the can into there and turn off the mesh renderer on cube. And then is trigger tick right there. So how do we do that? Well, like I've said multiple times on different things, we can use scripts we've already written. So let's go to our scripts folder and go to stats. And I'm going to open up global health. Now, the reason I'm opening up global health is so we can reference this and we know exactly what we're going to do to restore our health. So while it loads, I'll explain how this is going to work. It's just going to simply be a case of when we trigger this, it will make the object disappear. Basically turn it off. It won't actually delete the object or destroy it. It will just turn it off. And then at that point, we actually set the value of our health to 100. So no matter what value it's currently set as, we're going to set it back to 100. And that helps a lot. The second one is going to be a little bit trickier because we don't want our health to exceed 100%. Well, if you do, that's perfectly fine. But I will explain the bit that you leave out if you want to exceed 100%. But for now, we're just going to revert to 100%. And it is this health value that we need to reference. So head back to Unity. And if we go to our scripts folder, and I believe it's environment, let's duplicate gold collect. So hold control, press D. Rename this to full health collect, and let's open that up in Visual Studio as well. Firstly, now let's rename the class to the same as the script, full health collect. And game object, we don't need that, so that can go. Collect sound, we're going to have like a bit of a chomping sound, so we're going to keep that one. So we're going to keep it as collect sound. And pick up display. Let's change that to, in fact, we don't really need to, do we? Because this is all going to be done via the global health. So we can actually get rid of that as well. Now, what we've got to do here is we need to say global health dot health value equals 100 semicolon. So we are reverting it back to that 100%. We can get rid of the next line because there are no gold ingots. Collect sound.play. Yep, we want that to occur simply because we're going to have that chomp, chomp, chomp sound. And we can get rid of the last three lines here because there is no pickup display at all. So that can go. May as well get rid of that namespace up there as well because we don't need that either. So save that script. Now this is a lot simpler than what you would have thought. For most beginners, something like adding health is quite daunting, but it's as simple as that, just a couple of lines of code. So let's head back to Unity, and hopefully it should compile with no errors. That should disappear. And it does. So let's add in to our audio effects folder this eat food soundbite, which is just basically or whatever. You don't have to use this one if you don't want to. You could use whatever you want for that. So let's go to our FPS controller and audio effects, and let's duplicate collect sound and just call it eat food, and let's add that eat food soundbite onto there. Next, let's go to our cube up here, which is our full health food. And we just need to add that script we've just written. So let's go to our environment folder, drag and drop full health collect onto it. And we just need to add collect sound to the variable slot. Save, and let's press play. So obviously we need to lose a little bit of health first. So let's just collect then. Oh, so we've lost health already. There we go. So we're down to 80%. Down 65%. So let's collect this clip. Got 10 ammo, and let's collect the food. Hopefully we should see this increase our health to 100. Okay. Interesting. Oh, of course. Of course, of course. So when it's done that, we've not actually turned the object off, have we? So that's kind of silly. So what we need to do is add down here this dot set this dot game object dot set active false semicolon, resave, head back to Unity, and there is no, I just want to make sure there's no collider on the can. There is. So I'm actually going to remove the mesh collider on there as well and press play. So there doesn't really need to be a collider on the actual can of food itself, so we can get rid of that. Come on, soldier. Down you go. So we're down to 80%, and let's collect the can of food. There we go. So we've eaten the food, and we're back to 100% health. Excellent. So the next one is to just increase it by, let's say, 10. So I'm going to duplicate this can of food, hold Control, press D, and actually going to reduce its size by probably about half. So 0.6, 0.6, 0.6. Move it over here. So just to give the impression that it's a smaller can, so it gives you a smaller amount of health. And this is where the coding comes in to actually determine whether we can add health or not. So let's rename this trigger object to 10 per health. I'm just going to move it up to the top to be in line with our other food collectible up here. So I am now going to duplicate this full health script. So hold Control, press D. And I'm now going to call it per 10 health collect. And basically what the per means is just percent. It's just short for percent. So let's rename the class to be per 10 health collect. And we need to do a quick check now of the health value. So when we enter this trigger, what we need to say is if an open bracket global health dot health value is greater than or equal to 90, it's going to be 91. So greater than or equal to 91, then we do the following. We basically make global health dot health value equals 100. Why do we do this? Simply because if we have our health, let's say, at 95, and we collect this, if we add 10, that's going to put our health at 105%. So realistically, if you want to exceed that maximum health value, you wouldn't have this if statement. You would just have the next one that we're going to create. So I'm going to actually put an else here, simply because I don't need to do another if statement. But if you don't want this bit, this statement here would be an if statement for you. So else, open curly bracket, and I'll take this line of code, place it here, change it to 10, and put plus. So if you want to exceed your maximum health of 100%, you would only have this line here. And I don't think you even really need an if statement, to be honest. If not, you want to do it exact same as me, that you can't exceed 100%, then that is the script done. It's just a little bit of logic checking whether we can go above the 100% or not. So save that script, head back into Unity and let it compile, and we should have no errors. Perfect. So let's add that health onto there. Oh, that's because, yeah, there's a 1 at the end. My bad. Oh, I'm trying to take the 1 away. There we go. Right. Now the script and the class are the same, so we should be able to add to there. And it's not letting me. Why is it not letting me? I didn't do that right. There we go. So we just need to add that eat food again over to there and remove that full health collect. So just to make sure, full health collect has the full health collect script. 10 per health has the %10 health collect. So now I'm going to save my scene and press play. And we should be able to see our health increase by only 10% if we pick up the small one. And that's him gone. There we go. So we have 75% health. So if we collect this now, we should go to 85%. And we do. Now, just to make sure this works for sure, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it a couple of times. And I'm going to collect each one and make sure our health never goes over that 100%. So once again, it's always good to kind of play this over and over because it gives you a chance to test the game for bugs as well. There we go. Oh, there's a bug right there. We need a bit of a debugging session, I think. I think I've gone a bit crazy there. Right, so if we collect this, 75, 85, 95, and we should go to 100. Perfect. So we know that logic in our script works just fine. So all you need to do now is place your canned food wherever you want to. If indeed you are using canned food, you could use like the chicken legs or something like that. Again, it's your game, so you decide what to do with it. So next tutorial, what I think we're going to do is we are going to, let me think, what could we do? Oh, I know what we can do. We've dealt with score, haven't we? So why don't we add the score for our kills as well? So we can collect gold and get a score. Obviously, we can kill the enemies and get a score as well. So I think we'll do that. What else should we do? Let's look at some fade screens as well, and maybe a secret area. I think a secret area would be kind of cool as well. You know, if you've played the old games, if you walk up to a wall and it just kind of moves backwards to reveal a secret area, I think we'll go with that as well. So until that next tutorial, guys, thank you very much for watching.